In today's episode, I'm going to explain to you how to get exactly what you want. So get your journal and let's get ready to go get that nugget. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Let's take a moment, in this moment, to just call our energy back. Breathing in deeply together through the nose, holding it at the top just for a second, and then releasing. Just release the stress, release the worries, release the problems. Calling back our energy is closing all of the mental tabs that you have open of all the problems, the to-dos, the worries. Mentally picture those tabs open and mentally picture yourself clicking the X on every one of those tabs. As all those tabs are open, you have energy strands coming from your body going out to those tabs. And I want you to call all your energy back right now in this moment. Bringing back that energy right into your heart space. Feel your body filling back up with your attention and your presence. You can even put your hand on your heart, feeling the energy, breathing in deeply, feeling the support underneath you, giving yourself a present, a gift of your attention in this moment. Breathe in. Feel your feet on the floor, hold your breath at the top, and breathe out, and feeling your body sinking just a little bit deeper into the support underneath you. Hey friends, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you getting everything you want. If you're not getting everything you want, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So isn't it every day that we put out into the universe something that we want? It's every day we wake up. Sometimes it's those things that are the same recurring problems that we've been dealing with for 1,000 years. Want to lose weight, want more money, want more joy in our life. We want our kids to clean up their mess. We want our husbands to put the cap back on the toothpaste. We want the weather to be nice. We want our bosses to give us a raise. We want our coworkers not to be jerks, right? There's always something. So how do we actually get it? Because for the most part, most of us in our human experience spend most days wanting. And it's kind of an empty feeling. You know, I grew up with not a lot of money, single mom, me and my brother for a little while. And then when I turned 12, my brother was 13, I was like 13 and a half. And he moved in with my dad. And it was kind of a tumultuous feeling for me, you know, and this desire that my best friend, you know, is my brother, and he happened to move out. And so I always wanted that void to be filled in the house. You know, like now I want someone to play with, but I'm relatively self-entertaining and relatively introverted even back then. But there was always something that was missing, and we didn't have a lot of money, but my mom did the very, very best she could. We always were fed. We always were clothed. And, but there was extra things, you know, that I wanted clothes like my friends were wearing Gap jeans and those, Fox, what do you call them? Like those, they're not polo shirts, but the buttons in the collar, but they had a little fox on them, and things like this, and toys, and go on trips like my friends were doing because they were having these experiences that I couldn't have. And I grew up with that constant urge that was always eating at me, things that I wanted. Well, I want to walk you through a really, really powerful process of how to get what you want, but also to really figure out what it is you truly want. And as we get to the bottom of that, it's actually quite it's quite powerful, because then the thing you want sort of changes. And that's kind of exciting. So if I were to have you, I don't want you to do this, but if I were to have you list all of the things in your journal or on a piece of paper, list all of the things that you want, they would be a lot of experiences. They would be a lot of experiences. I want to go on vacation. I want a raise. I want my business to be successful. I want my marriage to be wonderful. I want to have more fun with my kids. I want to have less stress. I want to have a better parking spot at work. I want the traffic to flow. I mean, there's the first things would be all these experiences. Okay. Then the next would be probably something about you. I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I want to be without pain. I want to be without problems. I want to be, and we go kind of outward first in our physical experience, and we go inward in our body. And then after that, sometimes it's a lot of emotional. But that's kind of where I want to start, because in all of my podcast episodes, what do I say? It's not out there. That out there is an illusion. It's a reflection. And I'm reading this book, and I'm not going to recommend the book because it's not quite in alignment with my thoughts and beliefs and teachings and what I teach you here. So I'm not going to recommend the book, but I will tell you that one of the ways that this author explains the human experience is kind of interesting. It's like a hologram. And I use a lot of different analogies to explain things and to express. And plus that gives the mind something to hold on to. It gives this clear visual, like when I talk about the hose or kinking the hose or the hot air balloon or throwing dog poop on the sidewalk. All of those analogies really help you to understand how to kind of navigate this experience. Well, anyway, he talks about the experience, the human experience, as a hologram. And I also like it as like a video game because it puts all of the players into action. So if you're playing a video game, there's the person that is holding the controller. That is your higher self. And in the video game, there's a plot and there's lessons to learn. There's leveling up. There's expansion. There's kind of this underlying way to move through this experience. So I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and my youngest son, Cameron, got me Hogwarts Legacy, and my oldest son, Bob, gave me his old Xbox. So I've been really enjoying this experience, and it's been really interesting because not only does it immerse me completely into the Harry Potter experience itself as me as this character, but it also gives me this really interesting perspective about how I feel like the world works, like how our existence in the universe and energy works. So I have the controller, and that's the higher self. And I know this whole purpose that I am to go on this quest. I'm engaging with these other characters. They're in the game. Like, this is not an online game. They're not live people, but there's different characters in the game, and there's different quests, and there's enemies, and I get to explore all these different places. And then that's the me, the higher self. So the higher self is the me with the controller that understands the whole purpose. Okay. Then there's the player, which is the avatar that I've created in this Hogwarts Legacy game. And she moves through this experience based on what I tell her to do, so to speak. Like, I control her to go do things. Now, she can't do anything without me pushing the buttons, right? So if I'm standing on the Quidditch pitch, then I'm standing there, and if I let go of the controller, she doesn't do anything, right? She just stands there. But now that's the difference between the real existence, my higher self. I disconnect from my higher self, let's say, or she takes a break from the controllers and goes and gets something to eat. I now, as the player in this human experience, I get to run around and do anything I want. That's the disconnect. So pretend for a moment, just for this analogy to work completely, is that this character in the Hogwarts Legacy game, if I all of a sudden turn the game off, and let's say I leave her in the Quidditch pitch and I go and eat dinner and I turn the game off and I go to bed and it's the next day, and then I wake up the next day and she's in the Great Hall having a meal. And I'm like, dude, I left you on the Quidditch pitch. And she looks up at me and she goes, I know, but I have free will, remember? So I can go do anything I want. Okay, so that would make the game a little bit more complicated. And glad that they don't do that. But anyway, but in life, this is interesting, because if you stand far enough back and you are connected to the spiritual realm in any way, whether you're reading, you're learning, you're studying, your eyes are opening, you're starting to really become aware. This is the waking up process. So this is like as if my avatar would be like, okay, I'm tired of standing in the Quidditch pitch. I'm going to go over here. And she just starts doing whatever she wants to do. But there is an overall theme in our lives. And our overall theme in our lives is whatever this plot is, this story, the big grand story, the big mission and purpose of our life that's playing out. That was given to us as we decided to incarnate onto this earth and during this plane. That's given to us. So whether it was our soul's purpose, God-given, however you want to say it, but it's given to us, and that's our overall story. So like the Avatar being dropped into Hogwarts Legacy, there's an overall theme to playing the game, okay? So think of your human experience as a game. If we sit back and go, okay, if this is all an illusion, a hologram, then I can play this game however I want. Now, this gets to be a little bit even over my head a little bit. It's kind of fun to think about it, and we are going to get to how you get what you want in this game of life, this human experience game. So there's a higher self that's the controller, the person who's not controlling us, but holds the whole theme and helps us and nudges us along, okay? Then there's the player, which is us as the human having this physical experience. Now, and all these characters that we engage with. Down here, while we're having this human experience, we are filling ourselves with desire. Now, if this is a reflection, if this human experience is a reflection of who we are, our lives, our beliefs, our thoughts, our actions, our words, and everything we do inside of us, that energy inside of us gets reflected out into the world in our experience, we can use that environment out there and pull it back into ourselves and go, okay, that's what I'm experiencing. How do I change that, whatever that is, into something more of what I want, or change it completely into something that I want? So if I look out in the world and I see that I have a job that I don't like, okay? Now I look in the world and go, I'm somehow creating that through my experience to either learn something, to gain some experience about something, to advance in some way, to get a perspective, to learn something. I said to learn already, but to get something from that experience. So I have a crappy job. And now what that crappy job does is it tells me more about what I like and what I don't like. So as I sift through the world, I'm throwing my experience, my energy, my thoughts, my intentions out into the world, or out onto the sidewalk of life, whether I'm doing it intentionally or unintentionally. And I hope you're doing it intentionally. If this is your first episode, please go back to listen to episode number 3, and we learn how to stop throwing dog poop on the sidewalk of life, start living by intention, meaning what do I want to create? Where do I want to go? And I don't know about you, but I want to connect with my higher self on a regular basis to understand the whole theme of my life so I can start living within my purpose, because there's a lot of great energy there and I want to spend time in that space. So if I look at my job and I see my intention out there and I go, okay, so here's my job. What don't I like about my job? And you can write those things down. What do I like about my job? And write those things down. Then when it comes to figuring out what you want, look out in front of you and see what it is about the thing that you don't like. So find whatever it is, like I said in the beginning, all the things out in our environment that we want to change. What is that thing? And then ask yourself, if I didn't have that, whatever that is, if I didn't have that crappy job, what would I have? What would be there instead? If I could clean that slate, what would be there instead? And we're going to do 2 different exercises and activities here, because I think it's really important to start working with this energy and dive in a little bit deeper, because I find a lot of people, clients, friends, family, that constantly talk about how much they hate where they work. And I always say something like, well, what are you going to do about it? And every time that happens, that question, they come back with those 3 famous words, I don't know, or there's nothing I can do. Okay. And I go, well, yeah, there is, but it depends on what your belief system is. Because some people believe they can't do anything. They're so involved and immersed in this hologram, in this illusion of life, that they feel like they are powerless. Well, that's part of the game. My avatar in Hogwarts Legacy will stand for 7 days at the Quidditch pitch because somewhere in there she feels powerless. I know it sounds funny, but thankfully she stays there. Otherwise, I probably would never be able to find her every time I turn the game on. But there's this powerlessness that says we don't have control of what we're doing. We don't have control and we don't have input. And I'm just a puppet in this master plan of this game. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what's expected. And I go, here, listen, you have to start working or I invite you to start working with your intentions. And I'm getting a little bit off track here, but to start to practice, what is it that you do want? Challenge yourself. I invite you to challenge yourself in the way that says, okay, Jen wants me to look at something that I want. Okay, what is it that I have right now? You have this, okay, I want a job that's amazing. All right. And I go, what do you have right now? I have a job that's crappy. Okay. If you have a job that's crappy, if that was wiped away, what would you have instead? What this gives you is a whole new perspective to now start working with the energy of what is it that I want, and start setting an intention about what it is you want to attract. Okay, so there's that piece. I think it's really a fun activity or exercise to do because it really opens your eyes to what is available to you. I don't make enough money. Okay, if you made enough money, how much money do you need to make? And you kind of sit back and you're like, oh, I just need to make more money. Well, how much more? If I added a penny to your salary, that's more. Is that what you mean? Well, no, of course not. Right? Now, we're going to take this a level deeper. Okay. So put your hat on, get your hat on. We're going to go deeper, or hold your hat. How do you say that? I don't know how you say that. Hold your hat. Here we go. Anyway, so don't make fun. I just have no idea. I wanted to say something profound there and it totally flopped. Anyhow, so you grab the thing that you want, and here's what I want you to do. And here's the nugget. Here is the bigger picture of getting deeper into what it is that you want to create the energy of having the thing. And I'm going to tell you how fun this is going to be. So take that thing. I have a crappy job. And the first question is, if you didn't have that crappy job, what would you have? I would have an amazing job. Okay. Tell me more. Go deeper. Why do you want an amazing job? Or what would you have? Well, I'd make more money. Okay. How much money? I would have people that I work with that are really fun to be around. I would have a boss that's understanding. I would have a little bit more freedom in my business. I would work someplace that's warmer. I would work more in my skill set. I would work with more variety, whatever your thing is. And you kind of paint that little picture. Okay. Once you paint that picture, then you say, okay, this is the job I want. And then my question is, why do you want that? Why do you want that? Well, Jen, because that would be fun. Okay. What would fun give you? Why do you want fun? Well, I don't really understand. It would be fun, right? I want you to continue to uncover what it is you really want. Because what we're doing is in the human experience, we look outside of us for answers that will make us feel better inside. So what we really want is the inside experience. In order to uncover what that really is for you, then take the thing that you want and keep asking yourself, why do I want that? Why do I want to lose 20 pounds? Well, because I want to fit into my clothes and be able to go shopping easily and find my size. Why do you want to be able to do that? Well, because I want the fun and excitement of shopping and wearing new things and looking good. Why do you want that? Well, really, ultimately, I want to feel sexy and confident and feel good about myself. Why do you want that? What will that give you? Well, ultimately, it will make me feel happy. It will make me feel exciting and accepting of my body and my clothes, and it goes on. But really, if you keep asking, you go from the outside, out in the environment, and you pull it inward. Why do you want it? The end result is something like that. Something like, it's going to make me happy. It's going to make me excited. It's going to make me confident. If I have confidence, what do I have? Well, I'm happy. I'm happy about myself. I'm happy about my life. I'm happy about my relationships. Now, here's another nugget. You ever heard happiness is key? You ever heard of what you put out there is what you get back? So this is where we have to flip things around and we have to create from the inside out. So we go to the outside and we say, I want to go out there and I want this new and different and better experience. I want to go to work, and in this illusion, in this reality, I want to go to work and I want my job to be different. And I go, why do you want it to be different? And eventually you get all the way down, because I want to be happy when I'm getting up and I'm going to this place to earn money. And then I go, that's your key. Now you need to feel happy before the physical thing can take place. We must feel in alignment with the thing that we want before it can come to us. So if we're feeling crappy and we're feeling underappreciated, and that's the emotion that we are eliciting, then what happens is we create the environment that reflects that back to us. So when I say you have a crappy job and you describe that crappy job, well, my boss doesn't respect me, the coworkers are idiots, and I have to park 12 miles away to go to work. And it's long and it's grueling and it's boring. And then I go, now you need to look at yourself and go, where are those emotions? Where are those emotions coming from? Where is boredom? Where is no respect? Where is that? It's in my body. And so I'm reflecting, I'm projecting those emotions out onto the sidewalk of life. The hologram is reflecting back to me how I feel, and it's showing me these different scenarios based on that content. I am thinking about my job. I hate my job. I hate my boss. It's terrible. I don't make any money. I'm not respected. It's boring. It's not in alignment with my purpose. And I'm throwing that dog poop out on the sidewalk of life, and then I'm walking through it and I'm complaining about my job. When I go, let's go inward. Let's figure out where that emotion is. Let's clear the energy of that emotion, come up with a new scenario, which is why I want you to take that thing and go, not only why do I want it, but if I didn't have a crappy job, what would I have? If I didn't have a crappy job, what would I have? I'd have an amazing job. Great. Feel into amazing. And can you project that out onto the sidewalk of life? And if you can project that out onto the sidewalk of life, and you could do it enough times, no matter where you're going in your job, I guarantee you, you will attract a new job. Now, here's the rub. You have to do it more than you don't do it. You have to start playing with the energy of things. Here's what's going to happen. Here's a couple of things. One, that job will all of a sudden become better. And the people in the characters that play in that role in your illusion will start to shift and change and become different. Their personalities, the way they interact with you, all of a sudden they don't want to park in that parking spot and it's completely yours. Your boss will give you a raise. He'll give you a promotion or give you some different duties to do that'll add a little bit more variety and work with your skill set a little bit more in your job. So things like that will change, or another job will show up and you'll easily be able to move to it. And that's how you know it's working, is because it's easy. If you're forcing, if you're kinking, if you're aware, if you're playing with it, if you're feeling the stress of it, it's not right. You're not doing it right. So that's why visualization, that's why we set our intentions, that's why we work with the energy and we create those things. And then the next is get all the way down to the bottom of it. What would it take? What if I had that job? What would I want? Why do I want that job? Why do I want those kind of employees? Why do I want that kind of money? Because at the bottom, there's a positive emotional state that you're wanting. And I say, feel that positive emotion right now, regardless of what's going on in your life. Now, here's something else that will happen. If in the beginning I said, I don't want you to do this, but you could make your big giant list of all of the things that you want. And now I want to ask you, if you had all of those things, what would you feel? Because if I said you could feel happy no matter what, the list of whatever 200 things are on that list now become 43 things. Or everything wipes off that list and different things move on that list. Different things that you never thought of. Different things that are the core of really what's important to you. We want all of these human experiences. We want more money. We want better relationships. We want better health. But at the bottom of that, what we really want is to be happy. I want to be happy in my body. I want to be happy with the money I make. I want to be happy with my purpose and my job. I want to be happy in my relationships. And I go, be happy now and watch those things change. We must go inward first in order to have the outward change. We must. Nothing can happen outside of us if it doesn't happen inside first. This is why meditation, visualization, I use mala beads as a technique. They're very, very powerful. And now no matter what's going on in my life, I can be okay. I'm content inside. I'm happy inside. Now, it doesn't mean I'm happy for something that's terrible and going on, but I'm not falling off the cliff and staying off the cliff. And then things start to shift for me. Now, that's what I want for you. And so if this is something that you want to do, get out your journal, write these things down, take some notes, and start to work with the energy of what it is that you desire, and then go all the way down to the bottom. Why do I want that thing? And once you get all the way to the bottom and you realize, I just really want to be happy, I go, okay, be happy right now. And then that's when the other things, the tools, the techniques that I teach in all of my episodes is about creating that happiness regardless of what's showing up. And then, my friends, watch how your life begins to shift. It is in this work that creates the life that you want to live. As we conclude today's episode, I'm thrilled to share something special with you, our Rise Up and Revitalize virtual retreat. Imagine a transformative experience designed to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. It's not just a retreat, it's an invitation to rediscover your potential. Are you curious? Join us for a journey of renewal and empowerment. Visit the link that I added in the show notes to learn more and embark on the next journey of your vibrant life. Until next time, keep looking for those nuggets.